This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to CWK Live every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm your host, Dan Zara, thrilled to be talking Star Wars with each and every one of you. Let's welcome in our friends. Minta, this is the way. It's CWK Day. Minta, great Facebook profile picture there. That's a lot of fun. A very festive image. Ross is here. He says, CWK Live now with more Andor. Hi, friends. You know what? That's good. I wish I would have come up with that. I love it. Jamie is here. Good evening, friends. Happy Tuesday to you all. Hello, Jamie. Great to see you, my friend. Mary is here. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Florida friends, stay safe. Yes, we're definitely going to talk about that very, very soon. Liberty, hi. Welcome back. She says, hi, guys. Long time. Great to see you, Liberty. Jason is here as well. Hi, everyone. Great to be with you tonight. Look, it's wonderful to see all of you. I hope this is a nice escape. There's some really challenging stuff coming on with, of course, Hurricane Ian heading towards Florida and a lot of our friends. And so please stay safe. You know, we're thinking of you all, sending prayers and positive vibes to all of you. This is no joke. I mean, look, I had my meetup. I'm putting this up here because I didn't make a new one. So we had the meetup scheduled for Friday, but that's not going to happen. It is canceled. So that is no longer. So I believe I've contacted everybody who told me that they were going to be there. But there is no meetup this week. In fact, we canceled my birthday trip to Walt Disney World, and we postponed it to later in the year because you can't take chances with stuff like this. So please, everybody who's out there, stay safe. Looking at you, Blake, I know you're a Floridian. Hopefully the hurricane passes you by and you don't have to deal with it. I wish no one had to deal with it. I wish no one had to deal with it. In the meantime, I hope this little show of ours can give everybody a nice escape from that, and I hope that everybody is taking shelter or evacuating or whatever you need to do to keep you and your family safe. We are definitely thinking of you. All right, let's use this show as an escape. Hopefully put a smile on your faces tonight. What a show. Hello, everybody joining us now. On tonight's show, we're going to do a special show, top 10 moments from episode 1 to 3 of Andor. That's right, top 10 moments. Normally do a top 5, but because there are so many episodes that dropped, 10, there were 3 episodes, and I knew it would be impossible to do 3 live shows covering each one, even though they all certainly have enough amazing stuff in there that deserves and warrants it. I thought, why don't we just do a blockbuster top 10? And one of you last week recommended this, and it was a great one. It's a great recommendation. So we're definitely going to do that. Ross says, be safe, Blake. Sorry trip was interrupted or impacted. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know what? At least I get to reschedule, and it's not an ideal situation, of course, but it's way more challenging for everybody else who's directly in the storm's path. And, I just couldn't rationalize Deanna and I flying there. And of course, today all the airport closed, so it definitely would have been a problem. Blake says, us Floridians are crazy. We were more scared of losing internet for a day than the hurricane. Blake always has the best perspective. Ross says, something I learned this week. Liberty worked at the movie theater where I saw Return of the Jedi on opening night in Ocean City, Maryland in 1983. Well, how did you all figure that out? That's amazing. That's super cool. I love that. That's so much fun. All right, we got a long show. We're not even going to do what's brewing tonight. We're just going to jump right into it. Top 5 moments from Andor, episodes 1 to 3. So these 3 episodes are really something else. Episodes 1 through 3 of Andor. Lori says, I'll celebrate Sunday at Disneyland for you. It's my birthday soon as well. Well, great, Lori. Happy birthday to you. What day is your actual birthday? Is it on Sunday? Because we'll certainly wish you a happy birthday. Mine is on Friday. Of this week. And it's a big one for me. It is a big birthday. Guess how old I'm going to be. Some of you probably already know. I may have already said it, but I'm going to be 50, which is crazy. But hey, that's okay, man. I'm just warming up. I'm just getting ready. I got a lot more fun things to do in the world. Lori's birthday is October 8th. Well, awesome, Lori. We will keep that in mind, my friend. All right, so I didn't make a top 10 no, I made a top 10. That's not true. I didn't make like an image for each of my individuals. I did one for 5 through 1 like I always do, but for 10 through 6, I'm just going to kind of go through them as we go through them. I got some water because I know there's going to be a lot of talking tonight, and that's great because there is a lot to talk about. So let's do it. Let's get a drum roll here. We're going to go through the top 10 moments from the first 3 episodes of Andor. So let's go with number 10. Let's see. Number 10 for me is, I wrote down the music. Look, the music in Star Wars is so important because it tells a story. We know that because of the great John Williams and all the other composers who've worked on Star Wars and left their indelible marks on it. But the music for this really sets a very sort of a melancholy, dreary tone with moments of thoughtful reflection. It's very haunting, much like Cassian's psyche, and it really adds to the mythos and the mystique of this. So that's number 10 for me, is the music. Again, I don't have like a listing of 10 through 6 because I just wanted to talk about it. And I didn't want to make a new template, quite honestly, for the other ones. So Lori is October 8th, and she will be 65. Well, you don't look it, my friend. That's awesome. Good for you. Blake says, I still haven't watched anything past episode 1. I have a top 2. Well, okay. I think you're going to really like episode 3, Blake. I really do. Mary says, the opening title is very cool. The reveal of the symbol and then the name. I love that opening. Every time I watch it, I'm very captivated by it. Minta's number 10 is the opening credit. It was clever how they introduced the show along with the musical arrangement. Well, look at that. Minta and Mary on the same page. I get you once again. Ross is 10, the introduction of Kenari and hearing a new language. We talked about this on CWK Live. Of course, Ross would know this because he was one of my guests. But there were no subtitles in that open in any parts on Kenari because there weren't any. You just had to kind of use context clues, which I thought was cool. Jason's 10. The overall tone and vibe of the show, the gripping suspense draws you in and doesn't let go. It feels very different from other Star Wars series, like I'm watching an episode of Lost. Well, that's a nice comparison. I like that. Jamie's 10, I think I saw his name as Vetch, but the big guy who was hired or asked to be tough when it came time to try and collect money. You tell he was a gentle giant right from the moment you saw him, and that's how Cassian treats him too. And I believe you have the name correct. For sure. Matthew is here. Hello. He says, hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. You're not late, buddy. You're right on time. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Lori says, me too, the opening has an alien movie vibe. Oh, I agree with that. Liberty doesn't have an order. She likes the new droid, B2, right? Is that the name of the new droid? Yeah, a lot of people are going crazy for that droid, and it's fine. It's early, but it's an entertaining one. Okay, I want to make sure I got everybody for their number 10. I'm trying to ration out to my voice, but I don't want to miss anybody. 10 for Matthew, love the sets and the use of practical sets, and it really shows here, I think. Ben is here. What's up, Ben? Ben's number 10, the opening episode name is Kassa. I like how it shows his name is actually different, and then later learn that Andor is actually Marva's surname. I like that too, and I kind of think Kassa might be his name that he's born with, or maybe that's just how his sister pronounces it. I don't know. And maybe they clarified that and I missed it, but good call, Ben. That's cool. All right, let's go to number 9. Number 9 for me is another very general one. I just put Henry Gilroy. The writing on this is sublime. I mean, it's not sublime as far as the tone or what's going on, but the character development here is so good. Like, this is a really powerful example of making dynamic characters. Not character, but characters. There are a lot of interesting characters with layers to them and duality. And that's both from the Imperial side and the Imperial point of view, or the I want to be an Imperial point of view, and the future rebels and the people of Ferrix. And I really, of course I teach writing and I love good literature, as you all do, but I really admire Henry Gilroy's ability to craft narrative and dialogue. And it's fascinating. It reminds me of, let's see, who's the guy who wrote Social Network and did The West Wing? I can't think of his name. I can picture him. What is his name? I know somebody here can chime in and let me know. But he's just so good at dialogue. And this reminds Henry Gilroy's work here on Andor so far reminds me of that. Minta's number 9. Learning about Kenari and hearing a new language. Very good. Aaron Sorkin, that's it. Yes, it was at the tip of my tongue. Thank you. Ross's number 9 is blue noodles. Pablo jokingly put a recipe on Twitter, which was pretty funny for those. Matthew's 9, the continuing Star Wars theme of found family. And it's a little bit more tricky to find here, but it is there. It is there, and I hope we see more of that as time goes on. Mary's number 9 is the music is great. Each episode ending has a different music or very little at all. It is haunting. Yes, extremely. Make for a great soundtrack, I think. 9 for Jason, the opening title sequence. Jason also liked that one a lot, which is cool. Really puts you in the frame of mind of what you're about to see. I agree with you. I very much agree with you. Liberty's next one is the opening sequence. It's really interesting. I didn't realize it was the opening. I thought it was a scene. Very cool. Yes, very cool indeed. I liked how everybody's bringing up the music in the opening. Number 9 for Ben is B, the droid. I love his stutter, his power issue that makes it difficult to even tell lies. Oh, good catch. This town feels like it's seen tough times. One of those where everyone is just getting by, and B is a perfect symbol of that. I agree. And man, the people working on Star Wars books, there's so many planets to keep track of. Woo, it's a pretty loaded galaxy. But it's, you're right, Ben, this planet has definitely seen some tough times. You wonder what it was like before the Galactic Civil War, but who knows? Number 9 for Jamie is life on Kenari. Watching the events unfold after they all witness the ship go down on the horizon. Yes, there's some stunning imagery in this one, isn't there? Really stunning. Okay, I think I got everybody who's chiming in with lists for 9. So I'm going to jump into 8. Now, ready for me? I simply put the speech. When Cyril gives his motivational speech, or he's asked to give his motivational speech, and Linus Mosk and the people that he's with start to clap, it's a really bad motivational speech. It doesn't work. It doesn't command the room or anything else. But it's just a really wonderfully awkward, uncomfortable scene that tells a lot about the dynamics about this group. Also how dangerous they are too, because they're very misguided, and I don't know. It would make a nice essay, but I really like the sequence with the speech because it's effective for the wrong reasons, and I think that's very telling. So I really like the speech that Cyril gives. Okay, let's see. Laurie's next one is a tower guy that took his job very seriously. Yeah, there's a lot. I think you might be talking about Cyril. It's pretty great. Matthew's 8 is seeing the ship scrapyard, just like Fallen Order and the Bad Batch. Yes, that's kind of what the Empire does, isn't it? They leave everything a husk. And Ben's 8 is Bix. She's very mysterious, independent. She's more important to Cassian than he lets on. He gets very defensive when Marva brings her up. Yes, he gets very fired up. I noticed that even more the second time I reviewed it. Minta's 8. The use of practical effects is a nice change from the constant use of digital. Brings you back to the original Star Wars all over again. You know, I really appreciate that too. I always like when they can blend them together. But I think with the scenery here, even though when you're watching the volume you can't tell, it kind of adds a dimension. I mean, literally and figuratively. 8 for Jason is B2EMO. It wouldn't be a Star Wars without a droid to root for. That's right. That's right. Everyone is excited about this new droid. Mary's 8 is the doggedness of Cyril to find Cassian. Or doggedness, I should say. He has a harsh way about him when in the confines of the office. When he's out in the field, I feel like he's a coward. You know what? I agree. And I think that kind of ties into the awkwardness of his speech. Good call, Mary. Laurie, Cyril Cam's face when it was all over, he was in shock. Yeah, very much like what Mary just said, too. Interesting. Ross's 8 is Brazo continues the story as Andor tells him what lie or alibi he needs to tell from the night before. You can tell how much Brazo cares about Cassian. I remember when you brought that up, Ross, on the show. I like that too. I just really like their interplay, their banter. It's like a serious version of Who's On First, kind of. I really like it. And as a side note, every time I hear the word Brazo, I think of Brazos from the series on Hulu, Only Murders in the Building. But that's another thing. Liberty's 8. Others have mentioned the music, and I'm on board with that. Its tone is set perfectly dark and suspenseful. Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? Really captivating. Jamie's 8 is Mosk. He might be my favorite character in trying to find the Cassian. Love the accent too. Understatement to say he was all in. Yes. That's cool. Mosk hasn't come up yet, I don't think. Oh, no, he was. I brought him up. Linus Mosk. He's pretty interesting, and I like how he seems sort of like silly at first, and then you're like, well, this guy's intense. Blind loyalty is a dangerous, scary thing. But yeah, that's a great call, Jamie. All right, that's number 8. Number 7 for me, I put Cyril and Linus Mosk. Every time these Cyril and Linus are together, I like their dynamic. Cyril, his superior, so Linus is instantly loyal to him. What he actually thinks about him in the dark recesses of his brain, I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out, and maybe we will. But I really like when these two are on screen together because they have the same vision for the galaxy, but they're just very different people. It's just really a cool dynamic. So yeah, I like these two together a lot. So that is my number 7. Okay. What about everybody else? What is your number 7? We're going through this pretty well, I think. Ross is 7. Nobody here gives their real name. The worker from the brothel who seemingly helps set the tone for every character we're going to meet. Yes. Yeah, I talked a lot about the this first 3 episodes and how much I really like it, and I like it even more the more I see it, but how much I do sort of lament, I very much lament that I can't watch it with my youngest, through no fault of anybody's, but I'm not going to expose them to a show with brothels. I'm not. I don't care if it's Star Wars or not. And, again, as an adult, I think the show's brilliant and I can't wait for it. And I'm just so in awe of all of it. But I am a little, it is unfortunate I can't show it to Mason. When he gets older, yes. But I think that's just an honest parent take. Let's see. Minta's number 7, B2. It reminds me of an R2-3PO hybrid. It is quite clever in a tight situation. Yes. Good catch. Do a comparison, I should say. Jason 7. Young Cassian's determined spirit. It's fascinating to see that this core part of who he is goes all the way back to his childhood. Yeah, and he tells us in Rogue One, I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old, and we're seeing that. We're peeling the layers back. 7, the argument Cassian had with Marvel regarding who knew he was from another planet. It was some great acting there, wasn't it, Matthew? It was really good. 7 for Mary is Marvel rescuing Kassa and trying to protect Cassian later when Cyril and Mosk show up looking for him. Yeah, that's cool. Marva's a great character. I really like her. Number 7 for Ben. The end scene where Kassa leaves his sister. She just knew it. That was the last moment they saw each other. I know. It was sad. Very, very, very difficult. 7 for Liberty. The corporate Imperials work well in this. The Empire can't be everywhere, and I like this idea of hired security. No, they are the bad guys other than being stormtroopers or imps. Yeah, with those like light bluish uniforms. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting dynamic. 7 for Jamie. Marva and her compassion to save Cassian easily could have just left him. Yeah, but she didn't. She's a good person. I'm really looking forward to seeing their relationship and where they go with it in this series. Jason, I agree with you on the seedier elements of the show. I really wish I could just watch it with Henrik, but I guess I'll have to wait a few years. Exactly. And I think that's just like, that's the parent in us. I think that makes sense. And I think that is totally okay. There's some things we're just going to like as adults that we can't show our kids. With Star Wars, it's a bit of a new take, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think every Star Wars show will be like this. I mean, Marvel has some very mature things and with a little more mature content, I guess I could say. But they still have got stuff for all ages and kids too. So, I'm sure Star Wars will do that. Okay. I believe I got everybody for 7. Let's go on to 6. Number 6 for me is, I wrote Steadfast Cyril. It was almost my number 5, but he's so compelling to me. He's a really interesting bad guy. I think I said on the show last week with Ross and Colby Mead that I feel like Cyril is one of the more interesting characters as far as villains go in Star Wars. I really find him compelling. The actor is terrific. His determination and resolute nature, and the fact that he is, as Mary said, sort of a coward when it comes down to it in battle is really interesting. I was looking forward to his journey as much as Cassian's, quite honestly. So that's cool. It's cool that they did that. Mary's number 6. Luthen's arrival and that entire scene in the warehouse with Cassian. It's apparent he is a very important cog in the rebellion wheel. Yes, he is. First time he's come up yet, but I'm sure that he will. Minta's 6 is Cassian's past. It was a nice way to reveal where he began to the present day. Yeah. Pretty smart. Pretty smart. Ross's 6, seeing the destructive mining operation on Kenari, it makes Kassa look and feel so small. Yeah, it kind of reminds you, like we said, of Rebels and Lethal too. Jason 6 is the corporate sector. I like seeing events and stories in this part of the galaxy, and I really like the corporate security uniforms and armor. A great costume design. I'm looking forward to seeing some cosplay of this at future celebrations and things. Lori's next one is Marva talking with the security officer with the primitive alarm bang going on. She was great. Really great. A great sequence. Number 6 for Liberty. The use of sound is really powerful. Both the bell tower guy and the clanging throughout the town, both really cool and different than other things we've seen in towns in this universe. Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer at Celebration with that and thinking, okay, this is different. This is cool. Number 6 for Jamie is the look and feel of the film. Appreciate the grit enough to put it in the middle of my list. I feel like Rogue One is in the top 3 for all of Star Wars, and I love that we were sort of back to that. Oh yeah. It's cool how many people have been like, you know what, Rogue One's my favorite Star Wars movie. So this is obviously going to make them happy. Ben 6 is Kassa seeing his own reflection. He just seems so overwhelmed by all this new stuff, and seeing his own reflection was too much. That's true. It's very true. Very powerful sequence. Matthew's number 6 is Sergeant Kostek. He's so gung-ho and willing to cover up Cyril's shortcomings. Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Let's see. Anybody else that I missed for 6? Mary's got it. I think I've got everybody. Again, if you join us, or your internet was slow, or you were typing a different way, or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can put these in anytime. Then after the show, I'll post them on Facebook where people can chime in their top 5 or top 10, just like Jamie did last week with the Light and Magic finale that we talked about. And I love that. Thanks for doing that again, Jamie. So whether you catch us live, at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesdays, or you watch the show later on Coffee with Kenobi's Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, you're always welcome to comment, and we very much welcome that for sure. And of course, the audio feed that I share as well. Let's see. I think that's everybody. Okay, so let's go into, now we're in our top 5s. Now we're in the where we normally are. Number 5 for me, I put drums. When the town crier / timekeeper, I don't really know what his official name is, but when those drums hit, there's 2 sequences where it happens. And Marva talks about what that means when they stop. Just really, really well executed and paced, and the sound is so clear and loud and very strong and expressive. It's a beautiful way to tell stories with percussion and add drama and tension. I loved it. I think it's just so great. So great. Number 5 for Mary is Bix is going to be an interesting character. It's obvious there's a strong past relationship with Cassian. She seems to have moved on, but is Cassian? That's a good question. I feel like Cassian is so distracted by what is eating at his soul that I think he has, but I don't know. That'd be interesting to see what happens for sure. And things are, of course, a lot more challenging now with what happens in episode 3. Minta says Marva is her 5. She saved him from the Imperials and raised him as her own. Nice to see another good example of a good parent in Star Wars. Ross is number 5, shiny, clean B2 versus current, worn down, ragged B2. This story has been through quite a bit. Yes, and I'm sure we will see kind of where that is for sure. Ben's 5, all the Kenari scenes in their language. I really like that they didn't include subtitles. Me too. It showed that this is such an unknown group that no one knows their language. It makes you wonder, does C-3PO know it? Oh, I bet he does. But that's a good question. Jason's 5 is Nicholas Bertel's musical score and how essential it is to the story. Yes, thank you for including the composer. Nicholas Bertel is a master. And this is great. And to think we've only seen the tip of the iceberg of all the music that we're going to get from this series. Lori says, Bix Kayleen is a great character. Yes, Bix is awesome. Bix is really cool. We're going to see a lot more of Bix, I think. Okay, 5 for Jamie. Ciel's reaction that it's his mission he was told to ignore has gone awry. He looks shell-shocked. Yeah, completely can't believe that what he wanted didn't happen. Or what he planned out didn't happen. Liberty's number 5 is a culmination of the flashbacks of the present day and Cassian seeing the sunlight through the front windows of the spacecraft. Such an emotional moment for him tied all together. What a beautiful sequence there. They do a lot of great stuff with light in this series. Matthew's 5 is Cyril. I think he makes a great antagonist. He's so blinded by his own glory that nothing else matters. He's so interested in making his way up the corporate ladder, but when things go wrong on the planet, he doesn't know what to do. His shortcomings are revealed. Love to see where he goes next. It's going to be fun. Or maybe it won't be fun, but it's definitely going to be compelling. All right, let's go to number 4. 4 for me is Pre-Mor versus Ferrix. Episode 3 is very much the climax of the first 3 episodes. And when the troop, the wannabe Imperials of Pre-Mor head to Ferrix and the drums stop and the people of Ferrix are not afraid or intimidated by what's going on, they fight. And of course it doesn't go well, but it's very moving. Again, beautifully plotted, beautifully paced. And Tom and I were actually talking about this today at school. But if you don't have 1 and 2, then the power of 3 doesn't hit you. So that pacing is so critical to unraveling episode 3. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Let's see. Jamie's 4 is B2. Is it me or do we have more compassion for him than other Star Wars droids? Recognize his personality and feelings right away. I don't know. That's interesting. It's an interesting idea. What do other people think of B2? I'm not sold yet, but I usually take a while to warm up to new droids. Minta's 4 Bix. She has similar goals like Cassian. It'll be interesting to see where her journey takes her. Yes, it will. Jason's 4. Supporting character that I'm instantly invested in, such as Sergeant Mosk, Bix, and Marva. Yeah, again, all these characters are so rich. There's a lot of layers to them. Lori, I like the scene in which the security ship was tethered when he tried to chase Cassian and Lucan. Yeah, that was very suspenseful. I like that too. Matthew's 4 is the drums. Now they play such an important role in the town. Start the day, end the day, and danger. That's right. Mary's 4, Cassian and B2's relationship. It is obvious they care deeply for one another. It'll be interesting to see how B2 was involved in Cassian's upbringing by Marva. Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be like a surrogate parent or something like that. It reminds me sort of the nurse from Romeo and Juliet, sort of, but a lot way more intelligent. That's a story for another time. Let's see. What did I leave off on? Ben's 4, meeting all of Cassian's friends and villagers. I like seeing them each one by one. Then as he leaves in episode 3, the camera pans to each of them. I'm nervous for how Cassian's story will impact all of them. You know, that's the thing. Is he really thinking about how it's going to affect his friends and family back home? I don't think so. Ross, number 4, Marva not backing down from the security group, defying them and taunting them. She is excellent. She is a kind of a force in and of herself, which I really like and appreciate quite a bit. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Well, Liberty's Forces. This feels like Rogue One, and I love it. Yeah, it's very similar. In fact, I've been referring to it as Rogue One 2.0 because it's just even more intense, if that's possible, than Rogue One. I think so. All right, let's go to number 3. This is actually going great, this top 10, so this is cool. Thanks, everybody. Number 3 for me is Cassian's confession. When he talks to Luthen about what he's done and, the Empires, they're so proud of themselves, and he talks about how he just walks right in because they wouldn't suspect him. And there's I'm not doing it justice, but there's this wonderful bit of dialogue that he has, a bit of exposition where he talks to Luthen. You can feel the hate radiating from Diego Luna. He's just a terrific, brilliant actor. And his confession here to Luthen is just really rich, really dramatic, and really beautiful. Okay, let's see. Number 3 for Matthew is Marva's speech about the drums, how they get to you when they are banging, but look out when they stop. So powerful. Ben, the shot on Premor, what a note to start the series on, reminding us that our hero has a dark past. Oof, good call. No one's brought that up yet. Number 3 for Minta is Sergeant Caustic. He's trying to prove to the higher ups he's worthy of the Empire, even though he needs to loosen up a bit. Yeah, I would say that is definitely true. 3 for Jason. Cyril. Karn, I don't normally like the rigid Imperial officer types, but Karn's behavior on Ferrix adds such an intriguing nuance that I can't help but be drawn to this character. I agree. I very much agree with you, Jason. Mary's 3, the decoy speeder, fooling all of them and then exploding. I think everyone in the audience realizes the speeder is a decoy. Shows how arrogant the Empire's officers are. Yes, they just can't believe that anyone would defy them. Ross is number 3, percussion. The bell tower, and more importantly, the people with their scrap metal and constant beats that sound as literally their pulse throughout the day. It's true. It's really cool. Jamie 3, Luthen is just so great, whether it's his ability to stay calm with fun in his face or his preparedness in setting explosives in advance. He's my favorite character. Luthen is my favorite character. Just wait. He's amazing. Let's see. I'm really excited to talk about my number 2, but I'm going to wait and make sure everybody gets their number 3 included in here. Let's see. Liberty's 3 is Marva. I love how stubborn she was to take Cassian with them. She knew he needed them. More found family in Star Wars. It's so funny. And just ironic. The other night on Turner one of the movie classics channels, AMC or something like that, they're showing the old 80s version of Annie, and we watched it. And there's actually some weird parallels. I mean, they're, of course, certainly not one-to-one comparisons. I don't think Cassian's going to break out into song at any point. Well, maybe B2 might. I don't know. But it's just kind of cool. It's just fascinating stuff. All right, I can't wait anymore. I'm going to go to number 2. Number 2 for me is the closing shot of That Would Be Me. So the second episode at the end, the episode entitled That Would Be Me, there's this really, really long shot of Cassian / Diego Luna walking towards the camera. As determined and focused as there, with everything kind of falling apart behind him, but he just keeps pushing forward no matter what. It's so powerful. I would love to know how many times they shot that shot, and I'm assuming it was just one long take. But man, is it just terrific filmmaking. Just the cinematography in this show is dynamite. And that closing shot at the end of the second episode, That Would Be Me, of Cassian just walking towards the camera, is just terrific filmmaking. Tells a lot. I actually have goosebumps now. It's just so cool. Well done. Well done, Andor family. Love it. Number 2 for Minta, the meaning of the drums. The way Marva explained its meaning gave me chills, especially when she mentioned look out when they stop. It was awesome. Nice, a harbinger of things happening. Ben's 2, that's the sound of a reckoning. What a powerful line and moment. It made it so suspenseful when it stopped. I like how quickly Luthen and Cassian hit it off. Yeah, that's good. That's super cool. You almost got a 2 for 1 there, Ben. Very well done. Matthews 2, Marva finding Kassa on the Republic ship and rescuing him from the pending arrival of the Republic, and now that they know what to do with him. Yeah, I'm glad. I haven't really brought up the flashbacks, but I think they're a very important aspect of this. Mary's 2, the clanging through the town by the townspeople is a warning to everyone. There are no sequences. The practical effects are so obvious it makes us really feel a part of those worlds. I forgot about that. How they're all ringing their bells, kind of passing along the information. Really neat. Ross, the conflict and tension in everyone. It feels like everyone thinks twice about everything. It just builds and builds the brooding tension. This is a masterclass in building tension in a sequence. Maybe as well done as we've ever seen in Star Wars, I think. Again, it doesn't happen without the pacing of the first 2 episodes, to me. Jason's 2, Luthen giving Cassian lessons on how to be an effective spy and rebel. You got it, Jason. That is the big word. Liberty's 2, Bix is a character with great depth, another great strong female character, great acting and character. Yeah, she's cool. She's cool. I was asked to interview her, but I actually couldn't do it, which is unfortunate. She's a cool actor, for sure. Jamie is number 2. All percussion, bell ringing, clanking creates tremendous suspense. Awesome stuff. Yeah, the music here and the percussion that you mentioned and Ross mentioned earlier too is just so good. Matthews 2. The final scene where Cassian is flying off into space shows both that his life will change forever by something he doesn't want willingly to join, but he's bringing him somewhere he needs to be. Yes, sorry I messed up how I worded that. Matthew, my mistake. But yeah, I agree. It's a great ending. Oh, it's a great ending. I keep saying this because I'm just excited to see what happens tomorrow. Because now that we're doing these Tuesdays, that means on tomorrow is when the new show is going to drop. And we're just getting 1 episode tomorrow. I'm not sure if everybody knew that or not. But yeah, they announced that. They announced that way before the show dropped. But yeah, tomorrow, from here on out, it's just 1 episode a night. But now, we started this episode with percussions and a drum roll. And now we're going to jump to our number 1 moment. And I'm pretty sure, I feel pretty strongly we're all going to have pretty much the same thing. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's what I just think. Number 1, the warehouse battle. Are you kidding me? That sequence with Luthen recruiting Cassian and knowing fully about him, but then also the action and dodging all those ropes tied to those boxes or blocks or whatever they are, it was like beautiful choreography. It was like watching Gene Kelly or Fred Astaire dance. It was just so good. And then again with the character stuff of the two of them talking and Luthen recruiting Cassian and showing him, look, what are you doing? Come with me and let's do something. Let's really do something. It was just terrific. Again, a terrific, one of my favorite little battle sequences in Star Wars in recent memory. I love it. So dynamic. So dynamic. And as I'm looking out here at your post, it looks like a lot of you are going to have very similar reactions. Mary's 1 is the last scene that rotates between Kassa and Marva's ship and then Cassian and Luthen's ship. Look in his eyes as a young child, now as a young man, has seen so much already in his short life. Isn't it lovely? It's so good. Minta's number 1, the chemistry between Cassian and Luthen was well done. Luthen was able to convince him to come to rise against the Empire, even as he set out the explosives and walked away like nothing happened. It was so like Mission Impossible. It was so cool. Jason's number 1, the screen presence and acting of Diego Luna and Stellan Skarsgård, especially in episode 3 when the action and the plotline really started gaining momentum. Yeah, it's just so good. I remember watching that for the first time thinking, okay, people are going to go nuts. This is great. Ben's number 1 is like my number 2. Oh, no, sorry. Close. It's a closing shot, though, of episode 3. The flashback mixed with the current day. Cassian is being whisked away, and again, to somewhere he doesn't want to go, but where he needs to be. So I like how you worded that. Ross is number 1. Cassian and Luthen during their initial encounter. I expect it to get even better and more complicated as Luthen attempts to tame the wild horse. What a great way to describe it. Well done, sir. Matthew's number 1. The whole scene of Cassian and Luthen meet, it was insane. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Number 1 for Liberty is Luthen is phenomenal. He's so steady and calculated. The beginning of the rebellion is in great hands. Yes. Jamie's 1. Chains and blocks. There needs to be a video game that simulates this. I'm sure there will. Well, I don't know. I mean, I hope there will, but I can just see it in Lego, or like in a real video game. As far as like, I shouldn't say a real because the Lego ones are terrific, but just like where it's like like Jedi Fallen Order, that kind of stuff. Ben says, Matt, you and I picked up the same thing. Nice, that's fun. And Matt, you says, so well edited and shot. Yeah, so good. Well, look at this. We pulled off a top 10 and we did it in 40 minutes. Bravo! I'm gonna give it. We deserve some applause. Congratulations. Nice job, everybody. The great thing about this is we're able to dive into a lot of the first 3 episodes of Andor, but from different perspectives and angles. And again, that is the beauty of the Coffee with Kenobi family. That is the beauty of this amazing community that we have because we've got different perspectives and different takes, and we just dive in. Blake, I'm hoping that this makes you want to watch episodes 2 and 3, bud, because it really pays off in episode 3 for sure. So next week, speaking of payoffs, next week's episode, next week we're going to do top 5 moments again. Top 5 moments from Andor episode 4. Again, it's going to be next Tuesday like we've been doing. Your top 5 moments from Andor episode 4. It's going to be fun. I've got a feeling you're really going to enjoy episode 4 for sure. All right, let's go ahead and jump into Ask Dan Z. Isn't it ironic that this week, when I have my drink of water and we're doing twice as much, my voice doesn't run out at all. But last week it did. Who knows? Who knows how the force works, everybody? Hard to say. Matthew says, great job, everyone. That was fun. You all did a great job. You know what else is great? Being a member of the CWK Alliance. We have so much fun in the CWK Alliance. That is a place where you can go to support the show and support me. And because of the CWK Alliance, I do the amazing things that I'm able to do because of Coffee with Kenobi. And I can't thank you enough. If you're interested in becoming a member of the CWK Alliance, please go to coffeewithkenobi.com/CWK Alliance. And yes, you're helping me for as little as $1 a month. But for as little as $5 a month, you get access to CWK Pro. For this last few weeks, I did a deep dive behind the scenes of covering the D23 Expo. We've been looking a lot at all the episodes of She-Hulk. And I'm going to talk to Corey and Tom, hopefully, about Andor and what they think about it. So I think that's going to be a good time, a really good time. But CWK Pro is a ton of fun. It's an exclusive weekly video podcast or audio podcast, depending on how you choose to support the show. Hosted by me and the original co-host, Corey Clubb, and of course, Tom Gross. So fun. All right, let's see. We've got some questions here. Let's see what we got. Mary says, after episode 4, will you be in the dark about what's coming up? Yes, I will. I've only seen the first 4 episodes. So yeah, then after that point, I'll be completely in the dark, which I really like, to be honest. Ross says, how's Mason handling not being able to watch Andor? Is there any confusion? Not at all. He doesn't seem to mind at all. He trusts me. And I say, buddy, I don't think this one will be for you until you get older. And he says, okay. And then he just goes on and does his thing. Like he was like that with Moon Knight. And then I showed him the first episode of She-Hulk and he was like, oh, it's fine. But he just didn't seem all that interested in it. And probably it's probably not where he's quite at 9. But he's been great about it, Ross. I appreciate you asking. I do think someday he will love it, but not yet. Certainly not yet. Don't forget this week that there will be no meetup at Walt Disney World because of Hurricane Ian, which is slowly heading towards all parts of a bulk of Florida. I've been watching it really, really closely. I just want everybody to be careful and stay safe. Do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself and your family, because this is no joke. This storm is no joke. So, all right, it looks like that's it for questions. So that is going to do it for this week's CWK Live. I want to thank all of you for joining me, whether it was live at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on our Facebook page, or later on Facebook watching the video recap on our YouTube channel, which I hope you will subscribe to. And then, of course, the audio feed of this show that drops every night. Not every night, but on Tuesday nights. After I do this, I take the audio and I upload it to the podcast feed. Matthew says, tried showing my voice on Andor, and I think it was dark for them. They quickly lost interest. Yeah, I could see that too. I could definitely see that. Mary, have a great week as well. Matthew, have a magical week, and may the force be with you. Thanks. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Ross says, thanks, Dan. Great seeing everyone's thoughts on the first 3 episodes. Happy Andor Eve. Yes, happy Andor Eve. Ben, thanks for this, everyone. Great hearing what you've all loved about these episodes. It was fun. This is, again, so much fun to be in this community because we just celebrate what we love. We don't worry about stuff that didn't work as much. We focus on what we love, and I think that's just a good philosophy. Liberty says, nice to hang out with all of you. Liberty, thank you so much. Great to see you. Blake, good night to you, my friend. Matthew says, happy birthday. And thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. It's coming Friday, and I'm looking forward to the birthday. I'm not one of these people that doesn't like birthdays. I love my birthday, so I'm looking forward to Friday. Jason, it's great to be with all of you tonight. Have a great week. You too, man. Definitely stay safe, Blake, and everybody in Florida and in the vicinity of this hurricane. Meantime, may the force be with you as well. Thanks, everybody. Be safe. Be well. And B2? Is that a thing? Sure, why not? All right, we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.